Cammy Davis. My website is cammydavis.com, which is C-A-M-M-Y Davis.com. And I sell my artwork on there. I'm a 2D artist. I do mixed media. And then I sell jewelry that is made with images of my artwork. And then I also have a lot of videos that I put on my website. And today I'm going to do a tutorial video, a how-to video. And this is on how to make a raven necklace. I try to look through a couple of magazines each month. I actually had to cut down on my subscriptions because I have to admit I was kind of a magazine junkie my whole life. So cut down on those, but I still try to keep a couple so that I can kind of keep up with the styles and colors and trends and all that fun stuff. And then I'll cut things out of the magazines for inspiration. And I have usually like a little scrapbook or a sketch pad where I just glue different inspirations in there. And I do the same thing with the internet and just print them and or just save them to my computer. I have a file called inspiration. So whenever I'm having a hard time thinking of something to create, I always have images to go back and look at so that my mind will start thinking creatively again. But this one I'm actually going to copy it pretty literally. I'm going to be using this for more than an inspiration, because I actually want to make a raven that looks just like this. I'm going to just make one single one to hang on a necklace, but I saw this in a magazine and I just thought it was so simple, modern, cool. I loved it. So I'm going to try to make one of these ravens. And I should say that I am not a 3D artist. I have never tried to sculpt anything before. Oh wait, no. I did once and it turned out really bad. But I think this is a simple enough shape that I can figure it out, and I'm never afraid to jump in and try something new. So I started by purchasing some FIMO dough, and let's get started. And to condition your FIMO dough, you just move it around in your hand until it gets soft and workable. And I'm going to try to duplicate a similar style to this raven now. So I'm just going to try to make this look like a bird. I need to put its little tail here too. I don't have that. And I have my oven going at 250, really low. When I'm done with this, I'm going to bake it for a couple of hours. And then whenever I'm doing these, I'll just turn off the oven when I'm done and just let them cool down with the oven temperature and kind of really harden up that way. After they're baked, they're actually really hard, really durable. Okay, so I've got my little tail on there now. So another feature which looking at this I think is really important is the raven's little mouth. So I even brought an X-Acto knife thinking if I need a sharp point maybe that will work. And some of my home gathered tools for this project. I'm going to try to separate its little face so it has a mouth. I hope that when you're watching this, maybe you try to make a raven, or maybe you have a favorite animal that you want to make. And a good way to do that is if you have pictures, or if you have the ability to take your camera and go out and take pictures of, whatever it is you want to work on. I think your own pictures are the best method. I am stuck in the house quite a bit because I caretake my grandma, who is almost 96, and she is wheelchair bound. So there's a lot of times where my projects I have to do from my house without leaving it. And with computers nowadays, it's just so easy to Google images, and I usually print a page or two of little images of like a raven if I'm doing this, and use those to kind of get the shape and stuff like that. Which kind of really just like I'm doing with this, where I'm just keep looking at it for the shape and trying to figure it out. Now this guy looks more like he's a hunchback or a hunched whale than a raven. So I got a little pan, some tin foil that I'm just laying down inside of it. Move it here while I do the finishing details. So where's my little picture? So this, and I want to put a little hole where its eye is going to be. So I'm just going to make a little, just kind of a little indentation where I can glue like a little bead or something later on. Got some wire going in right here. How could I do that with my little raven? Get something for it to attach. So I need to put a ring into the raven's mouth to hold it onto the necklace, and you do that before you bake it. So you can just use wire that you have around the house. I had these little copper pieces. I don't know what these are called, but you use them for jewelry, for earrings and stuff like that. So, and they have a little circle in the end. So I use these, and I put just a little crimp into it where it's going to go into the raven, just so it doesn't, you know, slide out really easily after it's dry. So that'll kind of, you know, stop it from just sliding out, and then cut right next to it. So it just has a short little end to it, just like this. And then you just poke it into the raven's mouth. You know, squish the clay all around it so it looks nice and neat. And then you just bake it like that. So I baked my raven in a 250-degree oven for probably ended up being about 3 hours, and then I let it cool down for about another hour in the oven. And as you can see, it's hard, so it's ready to be finished. I'm going to add just a few little details. I want to put a little green bead for its eye, and I kind of poked a hole where it's going to go. But now I need to get the bead in there. So I'm going to use the E6000 glue, and I want just a little bit, so I'm just going to, and I don't want it to go anywhere else but just right there. So, oh, it's funny how just that little detail just really made it look like a raven. So cute. Okay, so really all I have to do now is put the neck chain on it. I have a split ring, and I'm just going to put this on the hook that I put into the hook that I put into the raven's mouth, and I baked that in there. I have a lot of neck chains around because I sell jewelry that's made from images of my artwork, and these are one of the current styles that I'm using. I love these. They're out of wire, and I picked a color that's similar to the copper color. I think that'll look good with the raven. If you don't have any type of neck chain at home, you can go to a beading store or a craft supply store, and there should be many options. I've seen these wire ones at some of our local craft stores. And if it comes right down to it, you can just thread a piece of ribbon through it. A piece of black kind of shiny ribbon tied around with this around your neck, kind of close up, would be really cute. But this is what I decided to use. And so that is my finished necklace. This is the finished product. I think it's going to look so cute just for Halloween, or if you're wearing kind of a funkier style, if you're going to an art opening or something like that. I think I always still dress like I'm in Seattle and I'm gallery hopping, and I tend to wear black and, you know, kind of funky things. So that's my raven. I like it. What do you think? Please check CammyDavis.com for more of my tutorials, and also for my art, originals, and then I also offer prints for sale, framed prints, and I also have jewelry that's made with images of my artwork.